It's no secret that I've talked a lot of crap about the Destroy archetype, but I'm here to tell you, full-throated, I was wrong. The deck is good, and I actually was playing it with a card that almost nobody plays in it that was a key piece in a bunch of my wins, Lady Deathstrike. So I have been pretty anti-Destroy recently, especially at the higher end of play. It has felt like a deck that is just not really doing enough. I felt like it was maybe the best of the cope decks, and I do think that is likely true, but the main reason I thought that was it was just points and no interaction. So I picked up this list with Lady Deathstrike in it. It seemed like it was doing pretty well on Untapped, and I was blown away by how many problems Lady Deathstrike fixed. First of all, decks like Living Tribunal absolutely get demolished when you have the card Lady Deathstrike. Second of all, this deck benefits a lot from the Grandmaster being in the metagame, because most of what people are playing when the Grandmaster is in the metagame is cards that are weak in power, but strong in on-reveal effects or strong in ongoing effects. So you get to blow up a lot of Iron Man, you get to blow up a lot of Wongs, things of that nature. People are doing a lot of finicky combo stuff that is very cold to Lady Deathstrike right now. I don't know how long this deck will remain good, and I don't know how long Lady Deathstrike will remain good in it. But right now, it puts a lot of points on the board. You are able to accelerate a turn 4 Lady Deathstrike and really stop things from happening. The main targets I used her on were Lockjaw, Wong, and Iron Man, and obviously doing any of those is completely bonkers when you can pull it off. However, if the metagame shifts back towards a more go tall style with less Grandmaster influenced decks in the metagame, I do think she could end up being a little bit bad. Right now, I think she's benefiting hugely from everyone experimenting with the Grandmaster and from the way, the shape, I guess would be how I would phrase it, the shape of those Grandmaster decks involve a lot of good targets for her. You could blow up a Brood Lane, for example. Like, there just tends to be a lot of things that she can do right now because of how the Grandmaster is influencing the metagame. And if and when people figure out that those decks are not the best things to be doing, maybe this will not be as viable of a list. But right now, I think it's the best way to play Destroy. It's the only way I've had any success with the archetype recently. I tried it with like Scar in there. I tried it with Shang-Chi in there, with Hulkbuster, with Zola. I got absolutely nowhere with those. I got somewhere with Lady Deathstrike. That matters. Deadpool is not necessarily the most important card in this deck, but he is the most important card in terms of actually going over the top of your opponents in a dangerous way. When you have Lady Deathstrike, you can play a little bit of a mid-range and stop them from doing their thing kind of game plan. Blow up a Lockjaw, blow up a Wong, blow up an Iron Man. You can win those games without Deadpool, but when she's bad and you just need points, Deadpool is your main way to get points on the board. Starting out with a Deadpool is phenomenal. Buffing your Deadpool and then starting to kill him off is phenomenal. Nico Minoru is a great bridge card for Deadpool. Your best draws all involve Nico Minoru on 1 into like Deadpool on 2, usually drawing 2 cards there. And that is like the Destroy Nut draw. Deadpool is an integral part of that. And once you can start really rolling downhill with him, he can get up to 12, 24. He's a pretty big guy for what he's putting out. And generally speaking, you can win without him. But in certain matchups where you actually need to go tall, he is the most important card in the deck. Forge is good in this deck, although I think people are going to look at this list and be like, oh, he's forging Lady Deathstrike. And I got to tell you, that happens very rarely. You are almost always forging pretty much anything else, Wolverine, X-23, Deadpool. And because Lady Deathstrike comes out so late, you are often playing Forge on any of those targets before you actually have the ability to forge into Lady Deathstrike. It's not a play that never happens, but it's a play that doesn't happen as much as you think. You should remember that it's in your arsenal if it ever comes down to it, but it's not something that's going to happen all of the time. Forge obviously is great for accelerating your Deadpool scaling. That is the main role, but just dumping that buff onto an X-23 or a Wolverine that won't lose it is a solid enough use for him if that's what your curve fits at the time. Obviously, hitting Deadpool with it usually significantly better. Destroy is Nico Minoru's likely best home, and this list uses much of what she does in a very strong and powerful way, and that is mostly down to the fact that you want her to be a forge, you want her to be a draw to, you are weirdly uninterested in the demon plays a lot of the time, but the Forge and the Draw 2 are put to great use in this list. You are even able to use her location control abilities to get something that you otherwise would not have in this deck, namely location control. You can move stuff into locked off lanes. You can turn off limbos some of the time. Like, this is not a card that is only doing +2 and draw 2. This is a card that you're going to use for multiple things a lot of the time. Now, the ones that other decks like a lot, like her doubling up, you're not really a double up gamer a lot of the time because of your own Killmonger, because you don't have a beast to turn it back to a 0 cost kind of card, but like, you are very interested in most of the other things this deck does, and you can do those in a pinch. I personally believe that X23 is the difference between this deck being viable and this deck being totally unviable. This card is absurdly powerful, and since it has come out, Destroy has been a roughly tier 2 deck. No other card can say that it's had that impact. Absolutely none. Destroy is an excellent choice almost entirely because it has other options than Deadpool. This is clearly the best other option than Deadpool. It is an amazing, amazing card that lets you accelerate your game plan dramatically. That extra energy matters more than you can honestly believe. One thing you're going to need to keep in mind, though, is you need to sort of ration out your destroys when you're limited on cards. This is a card you're going to want to be blowing up some of the time on turn 5, so you can do a null plus Deadpool turn 6 with no Taskmaster in this deck. That is actually something you're going to have to thinking about a lot more. Going to have to thinking about also staying in. Wolverine has dropped in importance lately. I would say that Wolverine used to be a very critical part of this deck before X23 came out as your backup Deadpool. Now he's your backup Deadpool and your backup X23. He is still being run in this list for those reasons, but he's usually pretty marginal compared to those two being really good. And I think he's closer to the chopping block than other people may. Wolverine's a good card, and I don't have any better options, but at some point, I do suspect he might be power crept out of this list. Killmonger is your real only other way of interacting with basically any deck. You have Killmonger and you have Lady Deathstrike, and that's kind of it. Luckily for you, Killmonger actually is a very good card right now, and I tend to think that Destroy as a deck tends to scale with how good Killmonger is. Like, a lot of the time, I'll be looking for the best Killmonger deck, and then that will be Destroy, and those are metagames where Destroy makes sense. Killmonger might not seem like a key card, but as one of the few ways you have of interacting with your opponents and doing anything other than dumb stats, Killmonger is quite solid. Venom is probably the best Destroy card in the entire game in terms of cards that actually blow stuff up. He is the one that has the least obvious downside. You really only have to worry about a couple cards when you're playing big Venoms, and they are, of course, Shadow King and Shang-Chi. But generally speaking, this guy's going to be very large. He's obviously best played late. Once your Deadpool has already scaled up a little bit, once your Wolverine is a little bit bigger, things like that. You play your Venom usually after your other Destroy cards because he gets all the value that you sort of poured into that Deadpool over time. Generally speaking, he ends up being the last one. Carnage ends up being the first. Deathlock similar to Carnage. Deathlock is a solid card, but I do think he's a little bit on the edge here because you have Carnage and Venom and Nico and Killmonger. There's a point at which you might want to experiment with this slot. He's a little like Wolverine where you run him for consistency, but I wouldn't be overwhelmingly opposed to you trying something out in those slots and seeing if you feel good about the amount of Destroy consistency you have in the list. I tend to think that Destroy loses most often to just not having the right cards, and so I run a lot of extra redundancy, and that's how I would describe both Wolverine and Deathlock. Deathlock, of course, is Destroy redundancy. Wolverine is Destroy target redundancy, but you can change the deck up a little bit and go for higher cube rate, lower win rate, basically. You're going to have some more like early retreats when you do nothing, but maybe you might get some surprise power out of your opponents. All right, let's talk about the Church of Jesus Christ of Lady Deathstrike. And Lady Deathstrike is a card that I am probably higher on than most people. That said, I would probably not advise you purchase it just to play this deck. I just think it's actually crazy how good she is right now. but I do think that's a very temporal thing. It's crazy how good she is right now. A lot of people are going to look at that and say, oh, the sentence is actually saying it's crazy how good she is. No, the emphasis in that sentence is right now. It's crazy how good she is right now. If you go buy Lady Deathstrike, there is a decent chance that she will end up in a metagame that is not meant for her. If you see a bunch of mirrors, it is not a Lady Deathstrike metagame. If you see things that are not experimenting with cheap stuff, Wong, Lockjaw, things of that nature, it is not a Lady Deathstrike metagame. It is a Lady Deathstrike metagame if you are seeing the stuff she's good against. However, that can change so fast in a game like Marvel Snap. It can be an incredibly fast movement, and I don't want people to look at this and get the wrong idea and buy Lady Deathstrike and then come to my chat and tell me you wasted 3,000 tokens, okay? Promise me you won't do that. That said, let's talk about how good she actually is, because I was consistently blown away by her. There is a preponderance of decks right now that are doing like Ravonna Iron Man, or playing Zabu stuff, or playing Wong, or playing Grandmaster shenanigans, or playing, like, there are so many things that she hits right now that it's actually shocking to me. You'll see when we talk about, like, when we go into the clips from my stream at the end of this video, just how shocked I was every time she was insane. And she was so consistently insane. It was ridiculous. 0 people play around this card. And when she is good, she is unbelievable. Ridiculously good. And right now, she is quite good. You are playing a destroy deck, therefore you are playing null. I do have one tip for your usage of null, and that is be aware of the tech. Since you are not a deck that is going to actually Arnim Zola him, you are very often not going to dump this guy out there on 5. If you dump this guy out there on 5 without Zola, without the ability to move him out of those lanes effectively, you are going to get Shang-Chi'd, you are going to get rogued, and your only hope for that not happening is them being so afraid of the Zola that they make the wrong play. I'm not saying that you can't do that, just understand that you are big balls bluffing if you do. You are a destroy deck, therefore you play death. Your job as a destroy deck is to blow up a bunch of stuff and make her as cheap as you can get. You are generally pretty good at this. She ends up being very, very cheap, which is very, very good. All right, y'all, thank you so much for making it this far in the video. We're going to jump into some games of me playing this deck, and I just want to apologize to the one guy in chat who was like, KM, why are you playing Destroy now after saying it was bad for so long? I have an answer for you. It's actually literally Lady Deathstrike. I was playing Scar in that slot. It was terrible. I'm playing Lady Deathstrike, and it's good. That's the only explanation I have. No, all seriousness, that's very results-oriented thinking. I am just doing my due diligence on the deck. I still think it is, you know, fine, right? I don't think this would be my first choice, but that's me. It is a deck that needs to be respected. I feel like it's probably worth talking about, and for that reason, I am respecting it and talking about it. But I will be honest with you, it still would not be my first choice if I had to pick a deck to try hard with. That said, I was surprised by the power of Lady Deathstrike. I was shocked by how strong Lady D was. Thank you so much. I've been Cambest. You've been phenomenal. I will see you in the next one. I remembered to wink that time. That is what we're playing right now, though, so just pay attention to whatever the fuck we lose to. You know what I mean? I'm worried about Pixie and Thanos and Mobius for no reason. I think being worried about Pixie is stupid because, like, that card's not coming out like that. Like, I will say, I think you are overreacting, and that is for no reason, because there's no way that card is making it to print like that. That's my personal belief. There's 0%. Zero %. By the way, we are just absolutely nutting off here, huh? I hope they don't get my null. That would be bad. Holy shit. We actually just 100% lose this matchup. Okay, yeah, I take it back. If you want a deck that always beats Destroy, what they're playing, that'll do it. A deck that basically always beats my ass is this. For sure. For sure. This shit whips my poor little booty in, dude. Crushes me. Heinously ruins me. Lady Deathstrike does give me some game, but not a lot. What if I play Tribunal? What if I play Tribunal this game? That seems bad. Yeah, that seems bad. We are going to draw Lady Deathstrike this game. So I got that going for me. I can also go for like an arbitrarily large scaling null. Okay, Lady Deathstrike has to happen now. Okay, they're snapping me back. I draw Lady Deathstrike next turn, which means this turn I just play null. And then next turn is Deadpool, Lady Deathstrike, win game, right? Right? Yeah, okay. Let's do it. Lady Deathstrike. Ow. Yeah, that ain't enough. Stack 2 lanes because Tribunal. I mean, look at what it took. Like, they got a 40 power dude. Like, I don't know. Lady Deathstrike cooked. Lady Deathstrike fucking cooked. Holy shit, we actually have the tech here. Let's go. Last 3 weeks. And I actually think that's not true. Like, I get it, he's doing a meme. But I actually think it's not the best card to come out in the last 3 weeks, and I think that is Hercules. I think that is Hercules. The Meek disrespect. Yep, that's what I'm doing. I'm disrespecting Meek. Sorry. That's a hot take. Is it? I think Hercules is the only one that seems even remotely compelling. Like, of those cards, Hercules is I think, significantly the best. Yeah, no, that would be kind of stupid, Mittens. I think that would be a pretty good card. Buffed dagger. Yeah, like, it's just like, what are we? Oh my god. Chat, do you see it? Holy shit, I'm cooking. Whoa! Let's go, baby! Lady Deathstrike. We snap on Lady Deathstrike here. Why do you think Hercules is better? Because at least Hercules is a fucking 4/7. At least Hercules can win a lane with 7 points. Like, there's a floor. There's a floor on Hercules. It's like, It can't be that bad. If GM was a 2-2, would he even be good? He'd be better. Like, I feel like you could make that card a 2-3, and it would be, like, plausible, you know? You could be like, that's a 2-3 now, and I'd be like, yeah, that seems okay to me. So getting smashed with anti-bounce, what are your snap conditions? Draw 2 with Nico, anti plus Sentry in hand? I don't have snap conditions based on, like, my situation or, like, based on shit in hands. It's a very contextual deck. I think Jeff was memeing. I do think Jeff was memeing. There's going to be something that comes and break GM. People always fucking say that. Like, they said it about Absorbing Man, right? Oh, there's going to be something that comes along and breaks Absorbing Man. Fucking, there never was until they buffed Absorbing Man. You know what I mean? It just didn't exist until they buffed Absorbing Man. And then it existed. All right, I'm a little terrified here. Never mind, I'm no longer terrified. Wait, how big is that fucking guy? That's a 10, it goes to 20. Okay, that is scary. That is definitely a scary thing to see. That is a 10 and it goes to 20, which means 22 here should beat it. Which means we do this. I'm gonna laugh really hard if they have, like, null Zola here. Okay, so that's like a null and then a bunch of shit, right? Okay. Yo! Sweet Skeets, I'm not saying the card is unusable. You're missing what I'm saying here. I'm not saying the card is unusable. I'm saying it's hard to convince me it's worth running over something else. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh, like, I think people misunderstand what it means when we say a card is bad. It doesn't mean this shit's unplayable garbage, like, you can't ever win with it. It means there are some weaknesses to the card. It means not best in slot. I thought you said Destroy was bad. I think it is. I think it probably is. Holy shit. We have no cards we can play there. It's just like actual 0 cards we can play there. All right, that's cool. We die. Maybe they also don't have cards they can play there. Yeah, we always get Nico. We just, neither of us can do anything. Are you for real? All right, check me out, son. Fucking getting them again, baby. Fucking getting them again, baby. Lady Deathstrike. Oh, shit. Okay, that's a problem. Okay, so major issue is we literally still fucking die to Zola. Oh, wait, no, we don't. Haha! We beat a Zola. Right? Yes. We significantly beat a Zola. We did it again. Lady D's nuts. Let's fucking go, dude. Lady D's nuts going crazy over here. Oh, I have death in my deck. This is like a semi-bluff snap, but like... Alright, sure. What are you? +2 power? I don't particularly care. I would love to blow something up here, though. Give me some extra null shit. Oh, I love drawing cards. And I know that they hate drawing cards. Oh, yes. We're gonna get to that fucking... We're gonna get to that draw 2 Nico. This shit's happening. We're gonna get to that draw 2 Nico here, dude. Right on schedule. Right on schedule. Play that long, fucker. We're drawing Lady Deathstrike again. I now hear Lady Deathstrike is cooking. I snap on Lady Deathstrike. What gives? Don't get... I don't know. I put her in the deck randomly, and she's fucking farming. What are we... I got no idea either, dude. I have no idea either. Oh, that's clever. Right? You do like the... You do the... Okay. We don't get to Lady Deathstrike their shit up this time. That's really clever. That's not a throw. Like, it gets them double procs off the guy. We have to go 16 plus in multiple lanes. And I don't know if we can. It depends on where they play it right now. The whole thing. We lose. Yeah, we lose. Wait, no, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. We got it right. So now if they Zola, we beat their ass. Correct? We're just trying to kill as much shit as possible. Now if they Zola, we beat their ass. I was thinking about that, Gnome, but this was a little better to me. They're like, I'm not getting blown out by Lady Deathstrike this time. The threat of the LDS. Heard that one before. Okay, so they're... What are they doing? Please stay, by the way, Wolby. Okay, well, that is annoying. Does that even win the other way? No. GM is going down, all the hype is dying. I'll have you know I never hyped that card. I for one, never hyped Grandmaster. I just feel like you guys should know that. I, for one, never hyped that card. Awkward ass game. Awkward ass game. Weirdly, the Icebox making Venom 4, letting us play it in a Cosmos, actually kind of relevant. If the Wolverine goes there, of course. See, look at that. Look at that. Look at that Venom on 4, dude. Okay, what's happening? What deck plays Blade, Infinite, and then that shit? Blinfinite. Helicarrier? Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna get Ghost Ridered at some point, correct? I feel like I'm gonna get Ghost Ridered at some point, yeah? Rare Icebox dub, yeah. Okay. It's Hella. We Lady Deathstrike it and pray. Right? They have discarded Infinite Black Cat. We snap Lady Deathstrike because we're gods, and this never fails. Never fails. Greatest card in the entire game. What the fuck are they playing? I now have no idea what's happening anymore. And thus, I'm just going to accept that I'm getting Hella. Cool, dub, let's go. We're dubbing out, baby. Okay. So, that might look like I was just playing shit randomly here, but going +9 in every lane is actually really important. It's not even about the hella luck. That 9, the 20 wins wherever it goes, but we need to force it to a tiebreaker if the 9 splits from the 20, which is exactly what we were doing here. I don't think there's actually a combination of locations that actually wins them the game, right? Like, let's say they get this 9 here. Does that win the tiebreaker? It might. Now, our worst case scenario is they get the 9 here and the 20 there, and it's a full tie. So there was actually math being done there in terms of just being +9. Now, I didn't set that up, but I did notice that that would work, basically. LDS broken card. Yep, that's the only possible explanation. Yo, Jamolia with a Prime sub. Thank you. Ham Skillet for 10 months. Thank you so much. Welcome back. Thank you so much. Welcome back to the besties, Ham Skillet. Is it adding crap to their hand good? Fuck, maybe. I was thinking it would be bad. Anyway, they're about to play a Lockjaw, and then I'm going to Lady Deathstrike it on turn 4. You ready for this shit? Oh, yeah. Lady D! Let's go! The greatest fucking card of all time. Woo! She's busted. She's busted. Chat, she's amazing. If I Killmonger here, I get an X23 proc, I go to 7. It does not let me play null plus death next turn. So I simply play the null. La 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 la, Lady D! Yo, that Killmonger on the Black Knight, it's actually 4 points of power. Legitimately impactful. Right? Like, we have, Killmonger here, death here. Seems plausibly relevant. They have discarded no cards. Lady Deathstrike! Oh, she does it again, chat. Yeah, Grandmaster is not good. I would not try Grandmaster in this deck. Under no circumstances would I play Grandmaster in this deck. I don't see it. I am not seeing it. The fact that they play Death is actually the worst thing about this matchup for me. Like, they get to just play the same cost Death that I do. Finally realizing how good LDS is. Dude, there is not a single comment I appreciate less than shit like that. I'm gonna be real with you. When someone is like, oh, you finally realized how good this card is. Shut the fuck up. You are specifically ruining the fun times that I'm having right now by trying to be smug about it. Shut up. I am so serious. It is like my least favorite kind of comment to get. Yeah, they discarded Death. I don't think they meant that in a bad way. If you didn't mean it in a bad way and you weren't trying to say, like, then I apologize. If you meant it the other way, I truly apologize. You deserve better. I didn't need to do it like that, you know? Ah, shit. Do I go Deadpool Venom or X23 Venom? No judgment? Then I apologize. That is my fault for overreacting. Why am I not snapping this? Okay, chat. No one say if you played X23. No one say it, okay? No one be like, hey, KM, if you played that X23, just, I don't want to fucking hear it, okay? I don't want to hear it. You beta boys talk strange. How much you bench? How much you bench, buddy? If you're gonna, this is like the rule. If you insult my hair, you have to post a picture of your hair. It's the same thing. If you call me like a soy boy beta, you need to bench more than me. That's just the rule. If you can't do that, I don't respect you as a shit poster. You know? If you can't even say that I like, oh, I'm a real man and you're not, you got nothing. I tear off roofs for fun. That ain't an answer to my question. That's a nice dodge. Ooh, I do manual labor. Ooh, you didn't answer it though. You didn't answer my question, and I think I know why. I think we both know why. I think we know why, dude. I appreciate the toxic masculinity happening here. No, I mean, like, if you're gonna call me a soy boy, beta cuck, what have you, you know, I feel like you should have the decency About 240? Yeah, then you can't talk to me about this shit. You can't be like, oh, I'm a big man benching 240. Get the fuck out. Killmonger the BK. Oh, you're right. I should have done that. Sorry, I was distracted. It's my bad. Now it's too late. I'm 50, getting old. There is a 50-year-old man in my chat. Hold on. Are you serious? Oh my god, there's so many of you! Alright, I'm gonna try this late. It's probably not gonna work. Why is a 50-year-old man saying the term soy boy? Also a good point. Shit, that's late. Well, I tried. I don't think this wins. I don't think this wins. Wait, why would you repeat that? Ah. Okay. You guys put the boom in boomer. Proud of you. Oh, we needed that to go left. Now we just lose to, like, a card, right? Yeah, okay. Who'd you think here was 12-year-olds? I didn't think it was 12-year-olds, but I feel like I'm surprised that so much of chat is over 40. You know what I mean? That's shocking to me. But, like, that's the rule, right? If you're gonna be like, okay, pussy, you know, if you're gonna pull my man card, I feel like I am legally allowed to pull yours in reverse. You know what I mean? If you're gonna pull my man card, I feel like I can pull it right the fuck back. That's how I feel. I reserve the right to do that. Oh, 5 power momentum, yeah. Uno reverse rules, yeah. I can do what I want. The 40+ gang is just here for the drops. I respect that. Can I draw the good cards, please? Like the... Probably not. This is probably an L. They have like... There you go, beta. Now you're making sense. Okay. This has lost its luster. You are a 49-year-old man calling people beta on the internet. Misspelling shit. I'm gonna be real with you. That, I'm probably just gonna ban you, man. I think I'm good. I'm pretty good on that. Like, that's just, that actually, it recontextualizes it and makes it a lot sadder, I feel like. In a way that is unpleasant for me to contemplate. I got timed out for saying 14 total power in play. Hey, I mean, I could do that. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. You can't make me not time you out. Kidding me? Wow, this is ass. Boy! This is my favorite streamer now. You know, you win some, you lose some, right? Like... You win some, you lose some. Some people like it when I do this. Some people don't. Alright, so we're like super fucking dead. Yeah? Feel like we're super fucking dead here. But there's no point in leaving. Fear has no meaning in this dojo. Fear has no meaning in this dojo. Hella dead. Yeah, we're dead, but it's like it's a 2-cube game no matter what. So what am I gonna fucking leave? Hell no. I'm not fucking leaving. Okay, well, we won. So, you know. You know.